Scarcity isn't always about not having enough. Sometimes it's the feeling that there won't be enough later. It's like trying to be prepared for a storm, never really knowing if it's even going to show up. Where I live is called the bubble. The storms want to track towards the waterways, and we end up in this little pocket in the middle. So many times I've prepared for a storm that doesn't pass over. Can you see how fast those clouds are moving? I've built a lot here, yet I still don't feel like I have succeeded. I still concern myself with all the resources that I will need to keep this place running indefinitely. And most days, I still feel the scarcity. This property keeps reminding me that feeling rich when you are feeling poor is about more than gratitude. Summer is already starting to feel like it's slipping away, and my firewood hasn't arrived yet. Last year around this time, I started getting nervous because my guy hadn't delivered my firewood yet, and winter was getting really close. I let myself get scared, and I reacted, and I found another supplier. And I got ripped off. It took me weeks to sort everything out, and then by the time my guy had the wood for delivery, I was already loaded up. The money was spent. I bought more because I was afraid I wouldn't have enough, and then I ended up with more problems than if I had just waited. So I'm trying not to make that mistake again this year. And while I'm waiting, I've been noticing around the property, I have wood. A lot of it, actually. A couple of years ago, we had some bad winter weather, and I had a lot of deadfall to cut back. And I just piled it up where the new pasture is. It wasn't firewood then, it was just something to clean up. But now, I'm looking at it differently. I'm harvesting them. I'm cutting them up. It's some good hard wood. Work is always a good way to deal with stress. I wonder how often I decide I don't have enough without even realizing what I have already around me. Sometimes abundance doesn't have to arrive. You just have to look around to see it. Even that much wood will keep me warm for a couple days. Maybe scarcity isn't always a reflection of what we have. Maybe it's more often a reflection of what we're looking for. Feeling scarcity can change what you see. and you can see nothing, or it can make you start to look around and see everything. When we look around and see nothing, what we already have is just invisible. And sustainability doesn't necessarily mean always having everything that you're always going to need. Maybe it's more about being resourceful with what you have. Until more can arrive. And not being freaked out while you're waiting. It's not going to heat my house all winter, but at least I know on the first few cold days, I can have a fire. I went to sleep last night feeling much richer. You know, I see this way of thinking in other parts of the homestead. I started this year with 1 pigeon. And now I have 13. And I already find myself wondering, will they outgrow their space? Will they have enough food? Instead of just enjoying them as a flock. I have spent the last few years building this place. I have animals, I have land, I have food growing, and still I can wake up and think about what I might need 5 years from now. And I don't think I'm alone in that. We are surrounded by messages telling us to prepare for the next thing, buy more, save more, stock up. And there's nothing wrong with being prepared. Another storm, and I'm in the bubble. Being prepared can be the difference between a problem and a disaster. But I think there's a difference between preparing for scarcity and living in scarcity. Because preparing says, I'll do what I can. And living in scarcity says, it will never be enough. So part of abundance isn't having everything you could possibly need. It's also about being able to recognize what you already have. But that color is weird and those clouds are moving fast. And maybe feeling rich when you're feeling poor isn't about convincing yourself that everything is wonderful, but rather learning to see the things that are wonderful.
Whoa. Can you see that? I can't see that. Yeah.
I don't know if I'll ever completely stop worrying about whether I have enough.
This is my favorite type of weather.
Honestly, I'm not sure I should, but I don't want it to become the only thing I see. What did I just say about being prepared, keeping a problem from being a disaster? Heck of a night for my sump pump to poop out. I have another one on hand. Don't have the right parts. I had this check valve that was the right size to go from the pump to a flexible hose. So I busted out the plastic in the middle so I could use it just as an adapter. Hooked up this flexible hose, ran it outside, and it will keep me from flooding tonight. I need help attaching it to this PVC pipe. But for now, late, and I'm pretty proud of myself. Hopefully I can get some help tomorrow to hook it up permanently. Middle of the night check. It's working. Well, that was crazy. My second basement flood averted. That was a little bit of preparation on my part and a whole abundance of critical thinking. A crash course in how a sump pump works with a float, and a lot of Googling. The float wouldn't trigger the pump, and then the float wouldn't shut off. I Googled if I needed to prime the new pump, and also if I could modify the valve to create an adapter, and I did it. Kate, 4 years ago, could not have done that. So maybe abundance isn't something I find. Maybe it's something I choose to notice. The storm will come when it comes. The firewood will arrive when it arrives. The pigeons will probably keep making pigeons. There will always be something else to prepare for. But I don't have to wait until I have everything to finally feel like I have enough. Good night, guys. Until next time, happy, healthy living. I hope you're all doing well, staying safe, staying kind. I'm Katie Kate on the Homestead. And I'll see you later.